Paul Erdos, born on 26 March 1913 in Budapest in Hungary, died on 20 September 1996 in Warsaw in Poland. Paul Erdos said television is something that Russians invented to destroy American education. The numbers aren't beautiful. I don't know what is. Paul Erdos was a renowned Hungarian mathematician. He was one of the most prolific mathematicians and producers of mathematical conjectures of the 20th century. He was known both for his social practice of mathematics. He engaged more than 500 collaborators, and for his eccentric lifestyle, Time magazine called him the oddball. He devoted his waking hours to mathematics, even into his later years. Indeed, his death came only hours after he solved a geometry problem at a conference in Warsaw. Paul Erdos said, television is something the Russians invented to destroy American education, putting the blame into an enemy and escaping. I believed this 20th century dragged the children back into the schools, into the field, and when children were not at home, the prayers were answered of all the parents. Get me something to keep my children inside my house, even if they don't talk to me, never mind. And I think the parents' prayers were answered through television. So children will get hooked into television. At least they are in the house, in front of the parents. But then it has become a destructive mechanism for the majority of the unconscious slaves. Otherwise, television is very important, very good. You can find out many beautiful things for you to get your brains tickled, the mind tickled, the eyes. The children have grown, age, strength. So many things were there. We could change the people who are making the things to run in the television, but how to use it is just like you having a gun and you go around to shoot people. You will be inside the jail. One man told me, how does a man becomes a gangster in that area? It is simple. He puts out his knife and he goes around and threatens everybody like that. But the moment if he knife somebody, he knows he'll be behind bars. He will never knife. He'll only blackmail. This is how gangsters are built up. Television is something the Russians invented to destroy American education. Yes, it depends upon how you use it, whether you use the knife, the television, and then you blackmail, destructive purposes, or you invent something for creative purpose. Both were available throughout the lifetime, but it came in different styles. People got hooked up quite a lot into the television. They lost their eyesight. They became sitting ducks, like Dr. Dean Ornish said. The causes of heart attack is you're trying to sit in one place for more than 1 hour is the cause of heart attack. Sitting in cross-leg is the cause of heart. Because when Dean Ornish do not have to tell that, I think people who are conscious knows that flowing water is fresh water, stagnant water stinks. Like my Devanahali old man was telling, from morning, sunrise to sunset, I don't enter the house, sit outside. 100 and odd years. I've not gone to the hospital even once, not taken a single medicine. What is medicine? I work in the field, and night time when I go back home also, I sleep outside. Unless it is raining, I go inside. Otherwise, outside. And now for coronavirus, even the Japanese scientists and the people who are trying to teach the people, try to be outdoors as much as possible. Outdoors. Television drag them in how? Indoors. And indoor plants, get deceased. Like the doggies in all the apartments are deceased. Aquarium fishes are deceased, and you keep on pumping medicines. Medicine is not the outcome. I go to the Goshala and outside into my ashram area, and I try to walk very, very hard. Sometimes it's very difficult. My legs doesn't move. That kind of a huge amount of pain, and I couldn't come back because of the work. And if in my place, if there was somebody, they could have rushed up to the doctor and could have taken an injection or a tablet for a pain-killing tablet. I rush back and ask my kids, please massage my legs. Nowadays, I don't even have to ask them. They come and then they massage. No medicines. And I'm very much sure, another 1 week I will not be able to get up, and my children also understood that this Guruji and was not going to get up for another 1 week. Next morning, double the energy. Just to work. Paul Erdos pursued and proposed problems in discrete mathematics, graph theory, number theory, mathematical analysis, approximation theory, set theory, and probability theory. Much of his work centered around discrete mathematics, cracking many previously unsolved problems in the field. He championed and contributed to Ramsey theory, which studies the condition in which order necessarily appears. Overall, his work leaned towards solving previously open problems rather than developing or exploring new areas of mathematics. Erdos published around 1,500 mathematical papers during his lifetime, a figure that remains unsurpassed. He firmly believed mathematics to be a social activity, mathematics to be a way of mathematics to be a social activity. Understand that mathematics, the day we remove that, diseases attacks you, like the African man at the age of 108, he looks 50 years. And then people went and asked him, what is the secret behind the success of this health? He said, mathematics. Morning when I get up, no yoga, no pranayama, nothing. But early morning when I get up, I practice mathematics. When you tickle your brain, I can't believe, when you tickle your brain, you are healthy, it seems. So look at Paul Erdos, and this has got a connecting link. Paul, purpose of writing. Mathematics to be social activity, living an itinerant lifestyle with the sole purpose of writing mathematical papers with other mathematicians. Erdos' prolific output with co-authors prompted the creation of the Erdos number, the numbers of steps in the shortest path between a mathematician and Erdos in terms of co-authorships. Paul Erdos said, if numbers aren't beautiful, I don't know what it is. Such a beautiful man, an eccentric man. Only a madman can become a wise man. In that eccentric, in that madness, he is having wise thinking. His art, his beauty, his subject is the most beautiful. And that beautiful, his subject, his belief is his God. And he believed his wife is the most beautiful. If every man believes his wife the most beautiful, every person believes her husband is the most beautiful, most smartest person in the world, and their children are the most beautiful, then their family is the most beautiful, and then their joint family is the most beautiful, family the most, but that becomes the whole beautiful. Then Mother Teresa, when people went and asked him, Mother Teresa, how to create peace in the world, she said, go back home and first create peace, and the world will have the peace. And this Zen boy was with the master for 12 years studying Zen philosophy. He was always finding something wrong with the ashram, with the monastery, and he ran away. And he walking into the street, he went to the market, and suddenly he heard a sound coming out from a shop. Everything in my shop is the best. He looked, it was a butcher's shop, a mutton shop, and the lady is asking the person, can give me the best piece in the shop. And the butcher said, everything in my shop is the best. This shocked this Zen boy. He had his satori's. He became enlightened. Everything in you, if you believe it's the best, nothing can stop anybody in the world. Anybody in the world. You just believe you are the most beautiful person in the world. The mind is the most beautiful. That makes you to make you the hardest working person in the world. In that hardest working, you find beauty. In that sweat, you find beauty. Yes, yes. That was what Paul Erdos was trying to explain. Such beautiful wording. Paul Erdos said television is something the Russians invented to destroy American education. It depends upon to your child and you whether you use creative or destructive purpose, whether you take it up and then you go back to the field and you work harder on that subject what you are seeing, but don't sit in the front of television more than 1 hour. Stagnant water stings. The person who sits more than 1 hour can have a heart attack. If numbers aren't beautiful, he was a mathematician, so he is deep in law. He embraced the numbers. Numbers aren't beautiful, I don't know what is. This is my 185th short discussion.